So Sean Paul put out this song called Greatest, and I felt like I had been hearing this beat for a very long time. And multiple people have been telling me like, "Yo, have you been like keeping up with like the Go Go Club rhythm, the Go Go Club rhythm?" I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. So I have to do some research. And so I'm gonna give y'all the education that I got this week on the Go Go Club rhythm. And you guys either correct me or inform me more if I'm missing something or I need to go check something else out. Um, so an artist or a producer artist named Russian created an he created a beat called the Go Go Club Rhythm, which was a song he put out with Vibes Cartel, I think in 2010. It was a while ago, and that song did really well. But the thing that I really like about dancehall that not many other places do is they like if there's a rhythm that people really like, multiple people are gonna go jump on it, right? It's not gonna just be the one artist. Somebody's gonna also jump on it and try and make a better version, which like enhances the competition. And so Russian, when he put it out initially, there were 12 versions of it. I have a like there's Apple Music playlist with all of them on there, and they have like instrumentals and edited versions. But on there was 12 versions of it, including the Vibes Cartel version. And recently he started re-releasing them with like newer dancehall artists, right? And I will say it's a thing now on social, like which one is the best version. And I think that this is sort of restoring the feeling of dancehall from before, which is what I keep hearing people say. Like people are on TikTok and on socials talking about which one's the best, as I said. But personally, I wish other genres of music would do this. I thought about like how other artists do it. I know reggaeton during that like 2015 to 2017, 18 era, it felt like everybody was on every remix, right? Like Mike Towers was on every remix, Daddy Yankee was on every remix, Ozuna was on everything, Bad Bunny was on everything. And I feel like that's how the genre got to like be so big like it is today. And I think dancehall has a different it's different for dancehall, like for reasons I said earlier, but I think this can get a lot of other people on board, right? Like the Sean Paul version, I think a lot more people could probably be introduced to this trend because Sean Paul has less of a thick accent, which is why I think he did so well here. So I just thought this was interesting, and I will say my favorite that I've heard so far is Go Go by Raja Wild. That's my favorite one off the new one, and off the old one, I would say my favorite version was a Nahor. We might have to we might have to take that out. But a Nahor by DeMarco. I fuck with that one.
I think this is something that rap and R&B should definitely take advantage of. Like, I think beforehand there was a lot of group records, a lot of records where it was like guys going back and forth, really testing each other's stuff. But I feel like this would be real crazy in R&B specifically for me, because I feel like there's some artists who have crazy R&B beats, who have crazy flows, who would sound great on other people's stuff. Like we were talking about Bryson Tiller earlier, and I was singing that finesse his finesse remix was crazy. That's what it was, and stuff like that really gets me excited in those genres.
She was not going for that, bro. They don't, and I think it has to do with like the labels and clearances, right? Like the big labels are not trying to clear it to a bunch of artists. I think the last time I tried to think of an American version of this, and the only one I came up with was Beatbox. I want to get it started. But that shit was horrible. But that's the only time I can really think of this actually working.
The LMA thing was more of an ego thing. Like Jacquees killed her on that. I'm not gonna lie. Jacquees had the better version, in my opinion. We can argue it all you want. I think he was on there snapping more than LMA was. I think she got mad because people started to notice that. Like I think she just got her feelings hurt. Of course, it probably was a sample clearance thing, but I'm pretty sure he released it on SoundCloud first, just like this Slum Tiller stuff.
If you really feel that way, you should just like make another version. Like Vibes Cartel put out Go Go Club Rhythm 2.0 last week because he was like, "Oh no, they going crazy on this. I got to come back on a second time." And from jail. So LMA has no excuse. I think she should just put out Tripping Part 2. Tripping Part 2. If you that jealous, Tripping Part 2.